Good morning. I just heard an odd noise from a kitty cat. Good morning. Hi, Pam. Hi, K Mystic Butterfly. How you babies doing? Get my laptop on over here so I can see your chat. Can you hear me okay? And is the video signal all right? Pam, I'm doing really well, all things taken into consideration. How are you today? K Mystic Butterfly, you're good and just doing your morning routine. That's what I have been up to. And I still have a little bit more to go. But I had an hour where I could just sit down and connect with you guys for a little bit and thought I would do so. So, if you saw the title, it's another content-free live stream. As usual on a live stream, I got nothing, baby. Got nothing. I mean, I could tell you guys of the excitement of the activity of law enforcement in my neighborhood over the last 2 days. Actually, a couple of weeks. But Bob is working this morning. And hi, Maria. Maria, honey, it's if you saw the title, it's another content-free live stream. I got nothing for you. Bob is working this morning. Things are pretty quiet around here right now. And the mood hit me. So here I am. Hi, Angie's Live. It's good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Maria, I do too. It's a nice break for me because, hi, Perfectly 470. Maria, because of the type of channel I have, and I haven't been working much in regards to content on the channel because of Christmas and New Year and all of that. Hi, Chroma Chronicles. And just kind of waiting for the dust to settle over the holidays. And now Willow is jumping up on the table here and thinking that she wants to take command of the show. Angie's Life, I'm glad you're doing better, honey. No kitty. Anyway, kind of lost my train of thought. Hi, Carrie. I was saying to Maria, because this channel is a commentary, a critique, sometimes review, opinion, etc. Maria, I usually do that sort of thing, you may have figured out by now, on uploads. Because of the nature of the channel, I started to say I have to. I don't have to, but in order to find out if there's anything on YouTube that I want to comment on, or I want to critique, or I want to review, or want to give my opinion, etc., I have to watch a lot of stuff. I often will find myself, hi flies, hi postcards, hi salty. I watch things that can be upsetting to me or distressing or depressing or annoying or make me angry. Yeah, Maria. Hi, Livy Cats. So you understand, when I go live, It's to give other people, you guys, a place to go where there's really nothing going on for a little while. But if I may say, thank you, Krama, but if I may say so, it's selfish on my part. It's so that I can connect with you kids and I can kind of clear my mind of what I've been watching and paying attention to, and just hang out for a little while with our braless kitchen cult. So if you're new, or if you're watching from the bushes and maybe you've never been over here to Lip Lock No More in the past, hi, my name's Susan, and welcome to Lip Locked No More. The name I coined because I'm 75 years old, and until I was a full-grown woman with kids of my own, there were things I had been lip-locked about, did not speak on, and now I do. But today is not going to be one of those days where I talk about something unpleasant, or at least I hope to avoid being unpleasant. I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm like, did I check my background before I went live? Because I know from experience as a viewer, as a sub, or hi Pink, or the person in the bushes. Hi big girl. By the way, if I'm missing anybody in chat, it's not intentional, and I will try to catch up with you before we say goodbye. No, what was I saying? I'm not even stoned yet, and I keep having flights of fancy in my mind. Hi, Sony, and distracting myself from what I'm going on about. Anyway, so since I can't keep a straight train of thought, and I am a, oh, you guys, okay, Krama Chronicles, I just got a notification, but it faded before I could see it, the entire thing. Oh, the background, thank you, postcards. Yes, Sony, it is. Okay, this, I'm squirreling, okay, but Krama Chronicles is going to be doing, hi G. Brecky, more on the Skelton brothers, and the notification just popped up. So Carrie, baby, or one of the other mods, would you please drop a link for Krama Chronicles in our live chat? Hi, Shauna. Look at you babies coming over here from the other communities I've been visiting. Carrie and other mods, the names that you're seeing in chat right now that you are most likely not familiar with, these are associations. Hi, Carrie. These, yes, baby, it's Fiesta Wear. Yeah, Liba Cats, MS can mess with your train of thought. But mods, many, thank you, Carrie, of the names that you're seeing in our chat that may be unfamiliar to you, these are friends and associates I have made in the live chats where I've been walking the streets of YouTube. So thank you guys for coming over. Babies, those of you that aren't familiar with my channel, you're not going to get here what we get on the channels we usually watch. The whole purpose right now of this channel is to give us someplace else to go for a little while before we jump back into the melee. I'll be reading you a short story here in a few minutes. And of course, I'm going to have to come up with a song to sing to you. But while we have a few here, K Mystic Butterfly, I do too, honey. I do. I don't think I want to bore you with the law enforcement activity in my neighborhood as of late. I don't know that you would be particularly interested in it. Krama, I know, baby. Every place I see you, it seems like you make a remark about me saying, even on your channel, when Krama Chronicles is running live, and she's talking about whatever the subject is that she has chosen. If I come into her chat, she will start recommending my channel and talking about me singing. But yeah, guys, now there's no threat to me or to Mr. Bob, my husband, or anything like that. But apparently, no, not apparently, evidently, a young lady that I don't know, I haven't met her, moved in about a block and a half north of us into a duplex. And she has a stalker, like a real life stalker. Not the kind of bullshit that people on YouTube talk about. Oh, you're watching me. That means you're stalking me. No, you're on a public social media platform with a worldwide audience. If you don't want people to watch you, why the fuck are you on YouTube? No, not that kind of stalker. No. This young lady woke up with her stalker standing over her, standing in her bedroom, looking down at her. The new boyfriend of this young lady and his son beat the living crap out of this guy to the point that he had I don't know the degree of it. It's only what the law enforcement officer told me. I know, y'all. Scary. Okay. And of course, it's only a block and a half up the street. So, like, and this is before Christmas, okay, that this happened. So it's not only law enforcement up there. There's an ambulance. And Lillian, my bestie and next door neighbor, we're seeing EMTs, and they're dealing with someone in the ditch. And of course, we don't know what's going on, and we're not going to insert ourselves. It ain't none of our business, at least at this point, because it's all going down. Anyway, the stalker goes to the hospital. Guess what? He gets out of the hospital. None of us in the neighborhood know this, okay? You babies know that I smoke cigarettes, but I don't smoke in the house. So even when it's cold, I'm standing or sitting on the front porch having my nicotine, okay? So I go out. This is probably, okay, it's still before Christmas, but just a few days. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to go out and have my last cigarette of the night. When suddenly, the neighborhood, the corner where I live. No, wait. Let me back up. I hear a noise. I hear a male voice yelling. So I look up the street and I see the silhouette of a person on a motorcycle coasting. Then I see the silhouettes of two what appeared to be male figures running behind the person coasting on the motorcycle and yelling at the top of their lungs. Okay. And I'm like, this is strange. Then within a few moments, I hear the motorcycle start up on the street back here behind me. Then, and I know you guys don't know the geography here. Okay. But then I hear it coming around the hard curve over here and heading up the street beside my house at a high rate of speed. Hi, Cash. And Cash, there's a guy in my neighborhood that thinks the same thing about me. And I'm like, whoa, things get quiet for a moment. Then the neighborhood right on the corner in front of my house. Hi, Julie. Cops are swarming. I mean, cop cars, Cash. Hi, Tracy. They're out with flashlights. They're walking in the creek. They're behind my neighbors' houses. They're swarming all over the place. I'm like, I think maybe I better go inside. But I'm nosy. So I stood on the front porch finishing my cigarette when an Arkansas State Trooper pulls up in front of my house. Now, Arkansas State Troopers don't just show up within a municipality. It's not that it's out of their jurisdiction, but it kind of ain't their job. You know, he's an Arkansas State Trooper. His job is to be out on the highways. But here he is in front of my house, and there are blue lights, flashlights, law enforcement. I mean, it's okay. It's insane. And a man comes walking down the street and approaches the state trooper in front of my house and says something to him. And they start having a conversation. And I'm not trying to eavesdrop, for reals, okay? But I keep hearing the word motorcycle. And it would be like they're speaking in a low tone of voice. So I'm hearing the voices, but not distinguishing the words. But then again, the word motorcycle. So from my porch, I call out. I don't yell because he's close enough. I don't need to yell, but I call out to the state trooper, may I approach? And he's like, yes, ma'am, of course you can. So I put my cigarette out and I go over there. And I said, Trooper, hi, Running Bear. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not intending to insert myself in whatever is going on here, but I keep hearing the word motorcycle. Are you looking for somebody on a motorcycle? He said, yes, ma'am, we are. I said, oh, okay. He went west. He went west on Scott Street, veering off to the south on Cross Street at 9:46 p.m. Hi, Vanessa. And the trooper looks at his watch and he looks at the guy and he looks back at me and he said, and I said, yes, sir. He went that way. Hi, Granny's associate. And yes, babies. Okay, let me finish that part. The trooper, well, I said to the trooper, officer or a trooper, I have spent decades working with and in association with law enforcement, including Arkansas State Troopers. So it is my habit. And I mean, when I say habit, I fucking mean habit. If something unusual happens, I always look at the clock. Always. And I highly recommend it to all of you. If something out of the ordinary, eventful, or something that, is going down, look at a fucking clock. Time can be very, very important to law enforcement officers. Now, I'm not saying that it is a good thing, nor am I advising anyone to insert themselves into a situation if you know nothing, you've seen nothing, if you are not aware. then I recommend you stay the fuck out of it. It's not your business unless law enforcement comes and asks you, did you see anything? Did you hear anything? Okay. So this was like, I don't want to use the phrase catch 22, but okay, here's the thing. If I hadn't been nosy, if I hadn't stayed on the front porch, I would not have kept hearing the word motorcycle. I would not have been able, after having come inside, after hearing everything I've already described, I came in and looked at the clock on the microwave, 9:46 p.m. Then my nosiness took me back out onto the front porch. Then all of this other stuff happens. Okay. So, double-edged sword, kind of, but not quite. Had I not gone back out and heard the conversation with the word motorcycle, that state trooper would not have known what I knew. On the other hand, so let me finish that up by saying this, that segment of it. I'm glad. I'm glad in this situation I was nosy. I'm glad I was paying attention. I'm glad I checked the clock. I'm glad I heard the words. And I'm glad I spoke to the trooper. These incidents keep occurring with this young lady up the road. 2 days before Christmas Eve, once again, our neighborhood is swarming with law enforcement. This time he wasn't on a motorcycle. He has hidden it in the woods. We have a very good friend who happens to be a patrolman on the municipal police force here. So he came by that morning. He was stopping at different houses and letting the neighborhood know this has happened again, and this time we haven't caught him. Described him to me, what he was wearing, and that he was on foot. He said, if you see this man, do not approach him. Go inside and call 911. He's dangerous. Yeah. So I'm almost done with the story. It's not a story, it's real life. Bob was home. I came in and told Bob the description of the stalker. He went to work. He got in the crew truck with the job boss and the other 2 crewmen. Well, crew man and crew girl. And they approached a stop sign at an intersection about 5 blocks north of us, here at our home. And my husband looks over and he looks back at the job boss and he says, I need for you to stop right here, just stay here for a second. He picks up his phone, he calls the police, and he says, the man you're looking for that's wearing Carhartt and a camouflage jacket and is of this height and this weight is standing on the corner of 11th and Main, 1 block from the police department. So because of that, my husband being able to call law enforcement, I know, Carrie, I know. Yeah. And after he called and made the report, he and the other three went on their way, and there you go. Now the thing is, Chroma, I know, it was colder than normal that morning, and the guys. My husband's actually retired, but he works with a really good friend that owns a lawn care company. And this time of the year, they're blowing leaves, right? They're blowing and mulching leaves. Generally speaking, Bob would have already been gone. Chroma. He wouldn't have been here when Officer Vaughn stopped to give the description of the man. So it was like the good Lord above, or the universe. If I know a lot of people aren't into it, and that's cool. That's fine. You ain't got to be a God fearing person to be watching me or in this chat. Okay, we ain't like that. But yeah, in our world, yeah, Pam, good job, Bob. Great job, Bob. In our world, that's not serendipitous. It's not coincidental. It is an orchestration from a greater power, or if you're not into that kind of thing, the universe doing this kind of thing, to where it says, we're going to get this guy, and all the angels above are going to be helping everybody do it. So now I don't know the outcome of any of that. I don't know what has happened since. But the only other time in the last few days we've had law enforcement swarming the neighborhood is because they've been out serving warrants. You know how they will do that on the occasion, and they it's like they don't come here. The dog catcher came here yesterday, but he just wanted to hang out and talk a little bit. As a matter of fact, when our animal control officer pulled up in front of the house just to hang out and visit for a minute, he's sitting in his truck and I was on the porch. So I walk out and I got my arm leaned up on his side view mirror and we're just jacking our jaws to each other and whatnot. But the moment he pulled up and stopped his vehicle, I looked at him and I said, "It wasn't me. I didn't do it." So, but yeah. So they've been across the street at yeah, and last night and up the street last night, and it's pretty easy to tell when all they're doing. Hi, Island Princess Kimmy, when all they're doing is knocking on doors and serving warrants, and So anyway, that's that story. Yeah, Cash, and I think sweetheart, I'm not a religious woman. Religion was invented by man. In my opinion, as a form of mass mind control. I'm spiritual. I know for a fact that there is a greater power. And you might say, well, where is your evidence, Mrs. Brewer? It's in my heart. That means I can't show it to you. I can only give you my testimony. And I don't even have to lay my hand on a stack of Bibles to be sworn in. I just know. And anybody that's been around this channel since I started, like when? In the late summer of 2021. If you go back and look at those videos, those live streams, you know what you'll hear this old woman saying? I ain't the praying type. I don't believe in God. I know. It's amazing the changes that can take place. And the thing is it isn't that I didn't believe, really. I was just mad. Good Lord didn't give up on me. Now, I just remembered we have not called this meeting to order, and I've been talking for 31 minutes. So, Island Princess Kimmy, I'm sorry, honey. Island Princess Kimmy. Yes, ma'am. All the way. I also, sweetheart, and I often share here on the community tab, I am what is referred to as a Sigma female. You know how you have alphas and betas and omegas? I'm a Sigma. Hi, Grammy B. How you doing, baby? How's things over your way, over to the west? You doing all right? Hey, and anybody that missed it, a little self-promotion here, okay? Yeah. Aunt Virgie's back. If you're new and you don't know who Aunt Virgie is, well, Carrie Bishop's been missing her, and a couple of other people have. But dang nabbit, Aunt Virgie's got to have inspiration in order to come on and do an Aunt Virgie. Well, yesterday, Aunt Virgie showed up. And it seemed like she needed to make a video and upload it on my channel. So, Grammy, you love Aunt Virgie? I love Aunt Virgie. I love her. Bless her little heart. What do you mean? What do I mean? But I got inspired yesterday. I have to be honest. Well, I don't have to. I mean, I could say, I could just blatantly lie. How would you know the difference? That's Lillian calling me. Evidently, she doesn't know I'm on a live stream, and she should be watching me. Anyway, hi, Chaos. Lillian, you're calling me while I'm on a live stream. You should be watching me on your big screen TV. What are you doing? And now she made me forget what I was saying, and I'm sure it was extremely profound. What was I saying? Shit fire and save the matches. Hi, Hilda. Happy New Year. It's good to see you, love. How are the babes? How are the babies? Carrie, what the fuck was I talking about? Virgie. Thank you, Leba Cats. I could lie. I ought to lie. I should lie. But what kind of a role model would I be if I was to go and lie to y'all? The inspiration came from hearing a woman talk on a panel on a live stream yesterday. I plagiarized her. I out and out. And I'm not ashamed, although I probably should be. I almost verbatim. No, I didn't. I didn't say anything. Aunt Virgie did. Aunt Virgie did. It's not. Whew, I almost blew it right there. I almost made it seem like I am Aunt Virgie. That would have been disastrous. I wouldn't want anyone to think that I am Aunt Virgie. And it cannot be proven that I am because Y'all have only seen Aunt Virgie from the knees down because Aunt Virgie likes to show off her fucking shoes. Okay? And she's got a lot of them. So I'm just imitating her right now. I'm just imitating her voice. I'm not actually her. So talking about lying. I literally plagiarized this lady. I mean, not exactly word for word. She wasn't calling Daylene her nephew's wife. Her Aunt Virgie's nephew got promoted to a floor supervisor at the shirt factory. So he's working days now. So now when Aunt Virgie needs to talk to her nephew, she's got to call Daylene, his wife, who's always asking her, what do you mean? And Aunt Virgie's always having to say, what do you mean? What do I mean? But y'all, that content was literally this lady on a panel, and I'm not going to say the channel or her name or nothing. If you saw it, you saw it. If you know, you know. But anyway, I reckon that in some people's worlds, if you get a head cold, you're probably going to have your hip operated on next week because the doctor told you don't have any cartridge left in your knee. And that was the thing that tripped it right there. When she said the doctor told her she had no cartridge left in her knee, I came out of my office into the living room while Bob was watching something on YouTube, playing a game on his phone. And I was like, honey, I think I've got Aunt Virgie again. I was like, let me lay it on you. So he starts paying attention to me. Usually he doesn't. Usually Bob will keep doing what he's doing while I'm trying something out on him. And then I'll say to him, like, are you ignoring me? And he will say, no, I am otherwise occupied. But yesterday afternoon, he actually stopped what he was doing and paid attention. And he started grinning ear to ear. Now, my husband is a Taurus. He is stoic as all get out. And you cannot read him. I've been with the man for over 25 years, and half the time or 3/4 of the time, I have absolutely no fucking idea what he is thinking about. Okay? So if I can pop off something and my man starts grinning, and I looked at him, I said, you're smiling. I got it, didn't I? I got you, didn't I? And he goes, yeah, you did. And I said, okay, that's Aunt Virgie. I said, don't bother me for about 3 minutes. I've got to go in the other room and do a real quick Aunt Virgie. I mean, no, I said, I've got to go back in my office and see if Aunt Virgie is in the mood to make a video. Not that I was, yeah, because I'm not Aunt Virgie. What do you mean? What do I mean? I'm going to have hip surgery next week because I ain't got no cartridge left in my knee. I ain't got no dang cold. There's something wrong with my knee. Anyway, Aunt Virgie, she's fixing to get wound up about hose. Now, there's a lot of different ways a person can take the word hose. And if any one of you sons of bitches out there steal my idea because I'm giving away something as allegedly with Brittany J would refer to intellectual property, and you motherfuckers out there steal my intellectual property, there won't be a fucking thing I can do about it. It's YouTube, and I'm saying it on a public platform. Aunt Virgie's about to get wound up over hose. Now, anybody that has watched any of Aunt Virgie's uploads here on my channel, I don't know why she didn't just start her own channel, but she requisitions mine Okay, Chroma Chronicles just went live, babies, and if y'all want to go over there, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. What she's talking about is important. What I'm talking about ain't. But there's hose that you put on your legs. There's hose that you use in your garden or out in your yard. And there's hose on YouTube. And I've noticed that Aunt Virgie will tend, hi Sparkellies, that Aunt Virgie will get a little bit confused from time to time about just exactly what kind of hose. So, but Aunt Virgie told me yesterday afternoon in a quiet moment that she's really being plagued mentally. And yes, Cash, holy water. There's what if it's not a garden hose that you hook up to your spigot to turn the water on? What if you have more than one garden hose? That means you, in plural, you have hose. So y'all can see to where somebody in Aunt Virgie's state of mind, elevated truth. Thank you. Wait a minute. Is that you? E.T., is that you? I'm not used to the word social after your. Is that my fellow cannabis expert on the tubes? Thank you for your $1.99, whoever you are, but the name. I couldn't tell if it was a rooster. That's your other channel. Babies, you may recall a few weeks ago, I made a video upload on this channel titled In Support of Elevated Truth. This is the man that I was talking about. I don't know why I'm getting emotional about it. I have developed a fondness for elevated truth. There's something about you, if you're still here, dear. There's something about you that reminds me of my second son. I think you're a real cool dude. And Carrie, if you would please, baby, drop a link for Elevated Truth. What I like about how Elevated Truth approaches things on his live streams, he asks questions. He doesn't make accusations. He doesn't go after people. He asks questions based on what they say. And he's not asking the question to the person necessarily that he's talking about. He's asking the question to his chat to get us to think. And sometimes, who knows, maybe he actually gets an answer. Thank you, Carrie. Yes, curious and caring. And he's an expert in cannabis. And y'all know I'm a stoner. Well, babies, we've been on here 45 minutes. Thank you, Pam, for subbing up. You're welcome, E.T. I hope it's okay with you that I call you E.T. I don't mind calling you Elevated Truth Podcast, but E.T. feels a little more, anyway. And you can call me Susan. You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me RJ, or you can call me Ray J, or you can call me Ray J Johnson. But you don't have to call me just Johnson. That's an old routine from Laugh-In, I think. Tears Ran Dry, are you in here? Tears Ran Dry doesn't get to make a whole lot of live streams. So babies, how about we have Cash, I am not Aunt Virgie. I ain't Aunt Virgie. I am, if y'all have not watched the music video that I shared on our community tab called The Ladies of the Dark Side from Kramit, Kramit is the name of the channel, in collaboration with another channel, the Krama Reels, who happens to be one of our mods over here, and I mod for her. Yeah. Okay, they got together and they created a music video, which some might find offensive. Like E.T., for example. When a particular creator, and the reason I shared it on our community tab is I am one of the dominatrix ladies featured in it. Yes, Carrie Bishop, fire, I know it. All of the ladies of the dark side are portrayed through AI characterization as dominatrix ladies. Okay. Including myself. I'm the one wearing glasses. I don't know why they had to put the glasses on me, but they did, okay? Because it's not nearly as sexy when I'm wearing glasses. And yes, I actually own the outfit that I'm in the music video. But yesterday, I watched E.T. watching the video. And when one creator in particular takes the screen, E.T. does one of these. He does one of these. I won't be able to do it like he does. He goes. I showed it to my husband, Bob. Later in a live chat, the Krama Reels asked me, how did Mr. Bob respond to the video? And I chatted back. It is not a good thing to make an old man's heart rate speed up like that. It's hot. It's really hot. Okay, darlings, let's have a story. We've been on here 48 minutes and I've just been talking and talking and talking. But of course, what else would I do? Now, back to what I totally spaced out on earlier when I said, and whoever it was that reminded me, several of you did. I didn't check out the background before hitting go live. Y'all, hey, Sage. I don't know if any of my viewers do this. I don't really tend to unless I'm watching someone that starts pointing it out. Like say you're watching a channel and they're reviewing another channel and say that channel like me cams up, okay? And they don't use a green screen, so you can see everything that's behind them. Babies, there's just some houses you don't want to see the inside of. Either from the filth or just what's laying around. So I've become aware over the last little bit of what are people actually looking at if they're looking beyond me. And then I had a sudden reassurance. First of all, I don't have anything in my house that I would be ashamed, embarrassed, or otherwise humiliated by any of you seeing. And I relaxed. I was like, wait a minute. You don't have anything going on behind you. If anybody takes issue with it, and yes, Sony Fiesta for sure, baby. Now I need to, it's been a few months since I've taken these items off the top shelf here. Let's do a little, that isn't it Island? Do a little sidebar here, and then I'm going to read Jen's short story and then sing you out. The most valuable, the most rare, or the most precious, and by precious, what I mean, not necessarily that it has a monetary value as a collector. It may be a piece that a person wouldn't pay $1 for. No, by precious, I mean somebody I love gave it to me. But the pieces up on top are probably the rarest. And then as you come down, when you get down to this bottom shelf, these are used every single day, you know. But like that yellow cup right there, to a non-collector, that's just a yellow coffee cup or teacup. If you're a Fiesta collector, that cup in 1995 was valued at $255 because of the style and the color. This green plate that you see, that's a cake plate. It's worth over $500 to a collector. If you're a collector, it's just another dish. Now, I have no intention of selling any of my Fiesta ware. One of my husbands, I've had several. One of my husbands, his mother was my best friend, although she was obviously old enough to be my mom. In 1936, when she had married my husband's father, as a wedding gift, her mother gave to her a starter set of ivory and turquoise Fiesta ware. Those turquoise deep plates right there are from the original 1936 set. So are these cups over here and the serving pieces. There are more on the other side. She wanted, one day she came to our house, and she knew I just loved, I loved the Fiesta. And she said, sweetheart, she said, I want to have the pleasure of seeing you have the pleasure of having my Fiesta ware. She said, if you'll trade me your dishes, you know, your plates, so this kind of thing. If you'll trade me your regular everyday out of the box from Walmart dishes, so that I've got a few, that she was a widow, lived alone. And she was like, I'll be perfectly content with those. I want to see you enjoy this Fiesta ware while I'm still alive. And so she gave me her Fiesta ware, and in the years that have ensued, I'm going to unplug you. You're on charge. Hang on a second. If I can remember how to flip the screen here. My oldest granddaughter gave me the persimmon and the gray. The persimmon is manufactured exclusively for Bloomingdale's. My son gave me this metal for serving. A chop plate from 1936. This condiment tray is extremely rare and very valuable monetarily. Y'all have seen up there. Even these, let's see, I can't hardly see what, I can't see what you're seeing right now because of the glare on the screen. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. That may not look like Fiesta ware, but it is. They're companion pieces that are manufactured by the Homer Laughlin China Company, the manufacturer of Fiesta ware. And they're like custard cups. And they can be, hi, Davis fam, you love Fiesta ware too, honey? And those two tumblers. This is a celery tray. Anyway, all right, so yes, Davis fam. Yeah, Ohio. And another thing, babies, Fiesta ware is not always marked as Fiesta ware. So, Cash, I'm glad my mind works differently from yours because we're both very, I started to say very unique, which is absolutely ridiculous. Unique within itself needs no modifier. Unique means one of a kind. So you can't be very unique. You can't be very one of a kind. You either are one of a kind or you're not. And Cash is an artist. I love his drawings. And I also love when he posts pictures of his puppy dogs. And I like it when Cash comes on the rare occasion and just talks to us about something that's on his mind. He's in the UK. Don't hold that against him. I'm just kidding. You know I love our UK and our Aussie friends. Y'all, we even have people watching from Japan. I know. So, I didn't call the meeting to order, so we're going to ring a ding dong before the short story reading. But I have to make up a cult leader, Brawless Kitchen Cult song to do that. Now, if you're new, we usually do this at the beginning, but I fucked around and found out, which means I forgot. So let's see. Let me get something in my head. We got to make something up. Welcome to my kitchen. Sit down and grab a cup. We are a brawless cult, and I'm your leader. You don't have to be brawless. You don't have to be a girl. We like guys over here too. I mean, we got Cash in the chat. That was the very worst cult leader kitchen brawless cult person song I ever made up because I didn't give myself time to get inspired. And when you don't give yourself time to get inspired, you make up stupid shit and you don't come nowhere close to Matt Davis. The end. Okay. I'm going to put you back on charge just in case. My name is Susan. And I have a cold. You can hang out with an A size or a double F cup. Okay. Let's do our cold reading. I have absolutely no idea. know probably all you guys would be like, Miss Susan, we're not idiots. We don't need you to explain to us what a cold reading is. You never know. There could be just one. Cold reading means I have not read this. It means I have no idea what is contained within the story. Now, y'all notice I use the word story a lot. That's because I grew up around old ladies using the word story. Just because I say story doesn't mean it's fictional. Shut up, Cash. Yes, smarty pants. Carrie, do you remember when Cash first started coming in our chat and I thought he was a troll and I was like hateful to him? Like I was ripping him a new asshole verbally, you know, not literally. Nonetheless, yeah. And then, Carrie, you remember? Okay. So then what happens is I end up through a chain of events in the live chat of nonsense. And there's Cash, a mod on one of my favorite channels. So what did I have to do? I had to apologize to to Cash, because I have indeed discovered that Cash is not like a troll necessarily. Yeah, he is our favorite troll. But he's a smartass. He's also very clever, very intelligent. And he can say things that make you go, what the fuck are you talking about? So I apologized to Cash in the live chat of nonsense on YouTube for thinking, Cash, you know why you come across oddly? Because you are odd. Not ODD, AWED, odd. Isn't it odd how there are so many words that are like the same word in the English language, but they mean something totally different, like right and right? All right. Now, fair use, disclaimer, because I do not own any rights whatsoever to this wonderful little book. I love you too, Cash. For quite some time now, I've been reading to my audience a short story from this anthology published by the Reader's Digest in 1946. The stories contained within are indeed either biographical or autobiographical. So they're not stories. They're words to encourage us, to uplift us, and help us to continue to get the most out of life. So let's see what this says. I better get me another sip of water. I can bring home the bacon right up in the pan. Never, ever, never, ever let you forget a man. 'Cause I'm a woman. WOMA. Little swishy swish to moisten my dental bridge so that it doesn't fall out of my mouth while, hi, Nada Drama Nada, so it doesn't fall out of my mouth while I'm reading. Here we go. There's our Nada Drama Nana. Say that 3 times really fast. Knowing you, Nada, you've probably been headbanging and totally like mosh pitting out to Type O Negative. You've probably been headbanging to Be My Druidess, haven't you? Don't lie to me. Not a Ramanana. You know I'll know if you're lying. I have bionic eye lenses now, remember? And people will be like, oh yeah, well, if you have bionic eyes, why are you wearing them fucking glasses? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Because my bionic eye lenses only made me be able to see for miles and miles. But I can't see shit up close. They can't fix that. But because I've had this surgery, which I highly recommend, bionic lens implants, I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Keep Open the Windows of Your Mind, written by Merle Crowell, condensed from the American Magazine. Let's hope I don't come across any words I don't know how to pronounce. Carl Lohman, the reindeer king of Alaska, told me this true story. A certain Greenland Eskimo, said Lohman, was taken on one of the American North Polar expeditions a number of years ago. Later, as a reward for faithful service, he was brought to New York City for a short visit. At all the miracles of sight and sound, he was filled with a most amazed wonder. When he returned to his native village, he told stories of buildings that rose into the very face of the sky, of streetcars, which he described as houses that moved along the trail, with people living in them as they moved, of mammoth bridges, artificial lights, and all the other dazzling concomitants of a metropolis. His people looked at him oddly and walked away, and forthwith, throughout the whole village, he was dubbed Sagluk, Sagdluk, meaning the liar. And this name he carried in shame to his grave. Long before his death, his original name was entirely forgotten. When Knud Rasmussen made his trip to Greenland, from Greenland to Alaska, he was accompanied by an Eskimo named Metek, Eider Duck. Metek visited Copenhagen and New York, where he saw many things for the first time and was impressed. Babies, as a side note, I want to pause for a moment and remind you, this book was written in 1946. Therefore, we are more than likely to come across words and or from time to time terminology that nowadays we would consider politically incorrect. In this case, such as the word Eskimo. But these are not my stories. Therefore, I do not have the right to edit them. I read them as they were written, keeping in mind it's almost, it's 80 years ago or more, 80. So please forgive the author, if you will, in certain circumstances, because at the time of the writing, the language was acceptable and appropriate. So let me begin that paragraph again. When Knud Rasmussen made his trip from Greenland to Alaska, he was accompanied by an Eskimo named Matek, in parentheses, eider duck. Matek visited Copenhagen and New York, where he saw many things for the first time and was impressed. Later, upon his return to Greenland, he recalled the tragedy of Sagdluk and decided that it would not be wise to tell the truth. Instead, he would narrate stories that his people would grasp and thus save his reputation. So he told them how he and Dr. Rasmussen maintained a kayak on the banks of a great river, the Hudson, and how each morning they paddled out for their hunting. Ducks, geese, and seals were to be had aplenty, and they enjoyed the visit immensely. Matek, in the eyes of his countrymen, is a very honest man. His neighbors treat him with rare respect. The road of the teller of new truths has always been rocky. Socrates sipping the hemlock, Christ crucified, Stephen stoned, Bruno burned at the stake, Galileo terrified into retraction of his solar verities. Forever could one follow that bloody trail through the pages of history or here on YouTube. Too many of us resent the impact of new ideas and look with suspicion on whoever imparts them to us. We hate to be disturbed in the beliefs and prejudices that have been handed down with the family furniture. At maturity, we seek the sterile comfort of mental hibernation and live off the fat of ancient fetishes. If a new idea invades our den, we rise up snarling from our winter sleep. The Eskimos at least had some excuse. Their minds were unable to visualize the startling pictures drawn by Sagdluk. But there is no adequate reason why the average man should ever close his mind to fresh slants on life. That is isolationism in its most tragic form. An old farmer up in Vermont always used to wind up his prayers with this plea. Oh God, give me an open mind. If more people followed this example, they might escape being hamstrung by prejudices. And what a pleasant place to live in the world would be. Open-mindedness. Keep open the windows of your mind. It'll help you get the most out of life. Now, we've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes longer than I like to be, and I still have 5 litter boxes to clean. Hi, Jennifer. Jen, is that you? These new names, I'm getting used to them. Tears ran dry. I like that story. I don't like that I can't properly pronounce the Alaskan names, the tribal names, and I'm embarrassed that I don't even know the proper way to refer. I love you too, not a drama. And you have an awesome day. She just doesn't want to stick around because she knows I'm about to start singing. Goodness, that's a kitty sneezing. Are you okay, kitty? Goodness. All right. So, Stephen, I'm doing great, and I'm glad you're here. I'm about to end it, dear. What? I think we have a hairball coming. I'm sorry if you can. I'm sorry. I need to stop being distracted by the kitty. I need to think of a song. Okay. And if you're new, you may say, oh my gosh, she's going to sing. Yeah, I am. Why? Because I can and I want to. You're the only audience I have now for performance art. So those of you that choose to stay around till the end of one of my live streams, yeah, I choose to torture you with it. Yeah, Cash, hairball alert. First he started by sneezing, and then he's starting the little thing with his tongue sticking out. So. Okay. Cash, can you imagine how difficult it is to have an entire orchestra or rock band or country music band or a ballad band or the Beatles playing in your mind while you're singing a cappella? Have you any idea how challenging that actually is? There'll be no strings to bind your hands, not if my love can't bind your heart. And there's no need to take a stand, for it was I who chose to start. I see no need to take me home, 'cause I'm old enough to face the dawn. Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just touch my cheek before you leave me, baby. Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Then slowly turn away from me. Maybe the sun's light will be dim, and it won't matter anyhow. I'm in weak voice this morning. And if morning's echo says we've sinned, well, it was what I wanted now. And if we're victims of the night, I won't be blinded by the light. Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just touch my cheek before you leave me, baby. Just call me angel of the morning, angel, then slowly turn away. I won't beg you to stay with me. Baby dolls, as you go out onto the mean streets of YouTube or your real life, please always remember you have some superpowers. One of those superpowers is called kindness. And when you spread kindness, what's going to happen is it's going to come back to you tenfold. And that's going to happen when you are least expecting it, but you are literally needing it the very most. Another one of your superpowers is called discernment. And that, my friends, you engage everywhere you go. Because there are snakes out in that grass. And those motherfuckers don't deserve your kindness. Now, you don't have to go home, but you need to get out of my kitchen because I got litter boxes to clean. I love you all, whether you like it or not. Now, get out of here. And thank you for being here. And I'm sorry if I missed you in chat. Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Get out.